We are previewing UFC 156 here at SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking with Nick Kalikas, MMA oddsmaker, sportsbook consultant, and his website is MMAoddsbreaker.com. All right, Nick, we're going to talk about Demian Maia, Jon Fitch. This is probably the most interesting, exciting fight on the main card, in my opinion. It also has the most competitive line, right? Maia is 155 at the moment, plus 155. Fitch minus 175. This is going to be an interesting, gritty fight. I would think that where'd you open this line? Let's start there.
I opened it around 175. Now,
right,
I believe other spot 5 dimes opened it around 150-ish, and the public bet it up a little bit. And there was some action both ways back and forth. So I opened at 175, and it's staying steady 175. I think a lot of people are confused about this fight. They're not sure exactly which way it's going to go. And all of us, including myself, actually on the show, we took Eric Silva against Fitch last time. Right. And we got burnt. I mean, Fitch showed up. So, I mean,
we did.
A lot of us got burned on that fight, too.
A lot of us got burned.
I mean, and this, I think, the way these guys match up here, Fitch is a hard guy to sub, and obviously Demian Maia is a sub guy. He's going to look to take the fight to the floor. And if he's not capable of it, actually, you know what, this is where the line is still competitive, though, because even on the feet, I mean, Jon Fitch is no, Muay Thai specialist by any means. He's got decent striking, but and his striking's always improving, but Demian Maia is as well. So even on the feet, I think it's going to be competitive. I do give the slight edge to Jon Fitch there on the feet. I think in fight IQ, every area Jon Fitch has a little bit of an edge in, including wrestling, but I'm not sure how they match up in that department here. I mean, because the short time that we did see Maia so far in the welterweight division, I mean, against Kim, that was kind of like a flukish thing. Kim hurt his injury, so we couldn't really base too much on that fight. But he did manhandle Kim for as long as that lasted with the injury. Then against Rick Story, man, he looked great. I mean, he dominated. Nobody's ever dominated Rick Story like that in that short fashion. So again, but it's another fight. It happened so fast that we can't take a lot from that fight. And that's where it's frustrating here, because I'd rather see him play out a little bit longer, maybe not be as successful as he has been in the welterweight division thus far, because then we could get a more accurate read on this fight.
Right.
But for right now, I think, if he's capable of taking Jon Fitch down, I mean, like I said, the way they match up, I mean, he can win this fight.
Maia by sub, what about that as a prop? I mean, you get a good price on that, right?
The problem right now, what everybody thinks is Jon Fitch is basically can't be subbed. I mean, there was even reports out there that he let all sorts of BJJ black belts come in and get him in a rear naked choke, and none of them could finish it too. So, I mean, his sub defense is pretty good.
Yeah,
and Maia hasn't finished everybody by sub that he's faced. So if anybody's going to neutralize that game, I think that Jon Fitch's fight IQ and his submission defense is well enough to do it. But I wouldn't play that game, man. I mean, against Demian Maia is one of those guys that's a whole level above even the best BJJ black belts. And then there's Demian Maia and those guys. I mean, there's a few guys that are on a bigger, higher level yet, and that's Demian Maia. So I agree. You put Demian Maia on his back, I wouldn't want that position at all. So if I'm laying 175 and Demian Maia's on his back, I would not be comfortable for sure. And I'm going to probably try to keep the sharp guys off that plus money side a little bit more. So we're going to be a little bit heavier on Jon Fitch here. And if the line skyrockets up over 2-1, I think you have to put a bet on Demian Maia in this fight too. I mean, something small, nothing crazy, because like I said, he's just not tested yet, unfortunately. Though he was tested at middleweight, and he passed a lot of those tests at middleweight too. So he's coming down. He's looked okay so far. From what we've seen, there's no reason he shouldn't hang in there against Fitch. It's going to be competitive.
So Maia's submission abilities against Fitch's sub defense, you don't think that Maia has the edge there?
A little bit. I honestly do think that he might. I mean, but from what, all the hype on Fitch's sub defense and everything, I don't think the public will at all. But again, I think that he could. If anybody's going to sub Fitch, it's probably Maia. I mean, it's like that.
Yeah,
so.
I hear you. All right, well, we will see how this turns out. My official lean on this one is Maia plus 155. I bet it's small, though. I agree.